welcome to TSR's Great Performances on a Budget, celebrating silver screen soundtracks without spending a lot of silver dollars. For many, you need to have a brave heart and a beautiful mind to make it in Hollywood and become a legend. Not just of the fall, but a legend for all seasons. One of those legends of Hollywood was a man named James Horner. You might know him. If you're not, then you might know his music. His music remains legendary. We're talking Titanic, Casper, Balto, Apollo 13, and the two soundtracks you see before you, among many others. On the left, purchased for $1.49, the soundtrack to Braveheart, Oscar winner for Best Picture, produced and directed by Mel Gibson, who stars as Randall Wallace. On the right, purchased for $1.99 from American Thrift, in Passaic, is Legends of the Fall starring Brad Pitt. Both soundtracks were performed by the London Symphony Orchestra. For James Horner, a brave heart led him to Hollywood from Austria, and a beautiful mind kept him there, in part through beautiful music. So first, let's take a look at Braveheart, for which James earned one of 2 Oscar nominations in the same year, 1995. He was also nominated for Apollo 13, but The Postman won Best Original Score. So here we have 18 tracks, the longest one being the penultimate track, Freedom, the Execution, Bannockburn. And the end credits is more like a suite of the various themes you'll be hearing in this soundtrack. It has a running time of 77 minutes. Only a couple film stills in here, in the liner notes. Another track listed here. And brief liner notes from director, producer, star Mel Gibson. To the telling of the story, I've devoted more than a year of my life. Every minute has been worth it. These are notes written by some Scotsman historian, I guess. In the year of our Lord 1314, patriots of Scotland, starving and outnumbered, changed the fields of Bannockburn. They taught like warrior poets, they fought like Scotsmen, and won their freedom forever. That is the story of Braveheart in a sense. They taught and fought like warrior poets in a sense that he taught us the meaning of bravery. Fighting for your country. These are pure countrymen who are willing to lay down their lives for the country that they loved, and the country that they pledged allegiance to. That's Braveheart in a nutshell. So you have a crew listing here as well. And a beautifully stellar performance, absolutely smooth. However, we have a little bit of a heavy presence on the Irish elements of the score, and those elements might have been out of place because, well, this is a Scottish-based film. Irish elements, Scottish elements, for some people they might intertwine, others they might not. Maybe that's the reason why Braveheart didn't get the Academy Award. But nevertheless, 77 minutes of pure, eclectic, powerful music, panoramic and pastoral, in just the right places. The same can be said for Legends of the Fall, although this is definitely more American than anything else, even though it was performed, again, by the LSO. We have a track listing here on the disc, along with running time for each of the tracks. This is a 13-track disc. It's 2 played smoothly. No audio playback issues to report. More film stills in this pamphlet than in Braveheart. And here's what's really cool about this. You actually turn this over after folding it all the way through, or unfolding it really. You get like a little family portrait of some of the main characters in the film. You also have liner notes from director Ed Zwick. A brief credit billing inside. A crew listing here. Black and white film stills on this side of the pamphlet. And turning it over, a full color family portrait on the other side, including its leading star Brad Pitt. And I tell you, if you listen to either of these soundtracks, it's not just Brad Pitt, or Mel Gibson for that matter, that will make you swoon. This was James Horner at his most powerful. The early romantic composers of the times way before Hollywood were definitely at work in spirit. even though some critics will complain that there are plenty of horrorisms in here, which he didn't really need to repeat in either soundtracks. You might make the comparisons to Apollo 13, to Casper, to Balto, to whatever. Just don't make any comparisons to Avatar, because these two were released in the 90s, way before that was even a twinkle in James Cameron's eye. In the summer of 2015, the man was permanently grounded due to a plane crash. But rest assured, the legacy of the late great two-time Oscar-winning composer James Horner, his music, will continue to soar, no matter how many times it might feel repetitive to some critics. But for all intents and purposes, I speak for them and the fans of James Horner in hoping that his music gets put on repeat for many lifetimes to come. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll catch you on the flip side.